Hello my friends, Raveen here and welcome to chapter 2 of ranking all the origin feats. There is no time to waste and let's get into it. First feat is heavily armored. This is a very simple feat. If your dexterity modifier isn't at least a +2, you might be way better off with heavy armor than medium armor, which will add a decent amount to your total AC. I assume most characters proficient with medium armor will have at least a +2 to dexterity though, so this feat isn't very interesting most of the time. This is a low end of C tier. Heavy Armor Master. This one is interesting. Reducing damage by your proficiency bonus against piercing, slashing and bludgeoning damage is somewhat useful. It won't make you unkillable, but definitely more resilient. If you have resistances to those damage types already, this is even better, but you won't take this on a barbarian because they do not wear heavy armor. I see some potential in this feat, a solid B tier. Inspiring Leader. This feat can frequently give your whole party a good amount of temporary hit points. The more allies you have, the better this is. I will assume there are at least 4 or 5 of you in the party. The total amount of temporary hit points given should be quite high in that case. It works both on short and long rests, so this is certainly one of the better ways to bolster your allies in the game. I do like this feat and will give it an A tier. Keen Mind. Keen Mind is really as good as your creativity and the creativity of your dungeon master is. Gaining proficiency or expertise in one skill is alright, but taking the study action as a bonus action instead of an action is good. The question is, how useful will this be in your campaign specifically? For the purpose of this tier list, I will assume that taking the study action will be relevant and thus will give it the B tier. Lightly Armored. If this feat didn't give proficiency with shields, it would go straight into the D tier. Taking a feat to get proficiency with light armor is very underwhelming. But shield proficiency can be useful for various character builds, so this will land into the C tier for me. Mage Slayer. What a difference from 2014! Concentration Breaker is okay, I doubt it will come online very often. But Guarded Mind is quite literally a legendary resistance for mental saving throws, recharging on a short or long rest. Making my wisdom saving throws has always been my dream, and so this feat goes to the A tier precisely because of this feature. Martial Weapon Training. There may be a character build out there that doesn't mind taking this feat, but it is not very powerful overall, so I will give it the C tier. Medium Armor Master. This will always be only a +1 to armor class at most, making it worse than all the armor proficiency feat we have seen up until now. I also think that many characters don't want to get their dexterity to a +3, and this is not a good enough reason for that. Taking a feat to gain one more AC is just not good enough in my eyes, and I would take most feats in the game over this one. Yes, this is the first D tier feat. Moderately Armored. If your dexterity is only a +2, the jump from light to medium armor is quite heavy hitting. Like with the previous suspects though, I would much rather multi-class 1 level to get this proficiency plus some other goodies. Let's give it the C tier once again. Mounted Combatant. If you're going for a strategy involving mounted combat and your DM allows it of course, this is a good feat. I will assume you're going to ride your warhorse into battle or get your steed through a spell for example if you want to take this feat. In that case, this is a high end of B tier for me. Observant. Very similar to Keen Mind, but a bit better in my opinion. Search action is better than the study action judging from my experience. Still B tier, but the high end of B this time. Piercer. This feat is decent. Rerolling any bad damage rolls can increase the damage quite a bit, though we usually won't get the biggest damage die on our piercing weapons, so the reroll isn't as impactful. One additional damage die on a crit is cool, nothing major, but it is a slight damage increase. I don't love this feat honestly, and it is between B and C for me. Let's put it in the B tier. Poisoner. So off the top, ignoring poison damage resistance is a great boon assuming you deal it consistently enough, which I assume you do. The makeshift poisons we can brew are not only a great way to use the previous boon, but overall add a very good amount to the damage dealt. Giving enemies the poison condition can be pretty annoying for them as well, and the poison creation isn't super expensive. Finally, as you progress later into the game, you will be able to create many more doses of poison, and that is great. A very solid A tier feat. Polearm Master. So Polearm Master no longer works with Great Weapon Master, because the attacks aren't made with our attack action. That doesn't make it bad, but the fact that many more features now require a bonus action in the new rules just might make it a bit worse and not a must pick anymore. I still like it for certain builds, but it isn't a feat you slam pick all the time. A good B tier feat in my opinion. Resilient. Do you have an ability score increase and you are not sure what to pick because you already took everything your character needs? You might just pick Resilient. Getting proficiency in Dexterity, Wisdom or Constitution saving throws is quite impactful. I don't love that you have to increase the same ability with which you gain the saving throw proficiency, but a very good quote-unquote filler feat anyway, a very high end of B tier. Ritual Caster. You will get quite a lot of spells with this feat, find familiar and identify or detect magic and so on. They are all great. Quick Ritual might come in handy once in a while as well. What you get from this feat is valuable and a great choice for certain characters. Let's give it an A tier, I like it a lot. So this is my ranking of the general feats so far. Thank you very much for watching, don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Let me know in the comments if you would rank anything differently. Have a great day and see you later!